It's very strongly secured in there. I mean, you can't pull that out if you tried.
It abides by the U.S. flag code.
I got pulled aside by my counselor and vice principal, and they told me, hey, you got to remove the flag off the back of your truck. And I kind of looked at them, and I said, no. I said, it's not going to happen. I said, I can't.
Cameron held the line.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about 17-year-old Cameron Blasick, a senior at East Central High School in Indiana, who has gone viral for refusing to remove the American flag off the back of his pickup truck. Now, this story is great. It shows unity. It shows patriotism. It shows a good dad, proud of his son. It shows everything. But first things first, let me explain what happened. You see, I think this was on social media first, meaning not the video we're going to get to in a minute, but it was more about like a Facebook post or something that maybe the mom or her dad put up. And I think Libs of TikTok were first to report on it. They say Scoop, a student at East Central High School in Indiana, drove to school with an American flag on the back of his truck. The school reportedly responded by threatening to punish him if he didn't remove it. After hearing what happened, nearly 24 other students flew American flags on their vehicles, protesting the school's decision with the American flag emoji. The school caved, allowing students to fly flags on their vehicles, but said they won't allow students to fly American flags next school year. I don't know why they would do that part at the end. It's kind of crazy. Why do American schools hate America? Good question. And I believe this post right here is from his mom or his dad or both. And they're talking about, hey, what's going on? Why was my son told to take the flag off the truck? And you see a few shots of the young man in the flag in the truck right there. That's a nice truck, sir, by the way. And that's a nice flag. And if I was your high school teammate, your classmate, I would most certainly fly the flag right along with you. Now let's get to the actual news clip here. If you want to see the full clip without my commentary, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Wherever 17-year-old Cameron Blasick goes, so does Old Glory.
The flag itself represents this country, this beautiful country that we live in.
He fastened the flag to his truck this summer.
It's very strongly secured in there. I mean, you can't pull that out if you tried.
It abides by the U.S. flag code.
I got pulled aside by my counselor and vice principal, and they told me, hey, you got to remove the flag off the back of your truck. And I kind of looked at them, and I said, no. I said, it's not going to happen.
I wonder why they even asked him to do it, because the only thing I could think of is maybe it was just too big and you might have power lines that are kind of low. And I don't think out there in this kind of country looking area, that'll even be a problem. So I have no idea why they would even ask that. It's the American flag. I could see if it was some kind of other political stuff, something that, something that was just not, but this is the American flag and we're in America. So what's the problem?
I said, I can't.
Cameron held the line.
Read through East Central's 2023-2024 handbook, and the word flag wasn't even mentioned in the parking lot or driving section. The only section it's mentioned in is the flag twirling section.
Boy.
The next day at school, others showed up with flags of their own.
There was a huge support group there that believed and stood for the same thing that I did, and I was kind of shocked by that.
That's when the principal sent a letter to parents Friday to, quote, address recent concerns and confusions, writing, I am pleased to inform you that we are allowing the display of the U.S. flag by students in the parking lot. Principal Black clarified to WCPO in an email that there has never been a complaint about the U.S. flag. One literally hangs above the parking lot, and that school administrators decided Friday they would, quote, prohibit other flags if they were determined to be offensive.
So what was the complaint about? If the complaint was not, so if they're saying that there was never a complaint about the U.S. flag, but yet he was asked to remove his flag, then what was the reason? Why wouldn't that be clarified in the email? Why wouldn't that be clarified in the statement? Maybe they could say that it was too big on the back of the truck. It was a distraction, an obstruction, some kind of safety concern. Like, let's get a reason why. If you're able to give me a valid reason why, other than it's a flag and you didn't like it and you want it to be removed, then I can understand. But since in the rule book, there's nothing about flags in there, you don't have any precedent. So what's the reason? Give us that. Ultimately, I think it just didn't like the American flag, because I don't see any other reason. They're not offering one, and there's not one given in the handbook. So what's going on? I think we can add 2 and 2 to get 4.
A social media post about all this went viral.
I was pretty surprised by it, that it got so many views, and pretty much that it got the attention it did.
There are veterans in this family, and Cameron himself is considering serving.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of him. He stood his ground and stood up for what he believed in.
Of course, that's dad right there. Shout out to Chris Blasick, Cameron's dad.
The American flag has been politicized in recent years. One poll shows 83% of Republicans have a very positive view of the American flag. That number drops to 49% for Democrats.
I think everybody gets offended over something that doesn't mean what everybody says it does. This flag represents our country and the people who died for it and fought for it, and I respect that with my whole heart.
Old Glory, sparking new debate.
Right on. So shout out to my main man, Cameron Blasick. Shout out to the American flag. It's crazy to say that the American flag is somehow offensive. I've always been flying the flag. Ever since I started when I started my channel and when I first started to go on camera, because when I first started doing videos, I was not on camera. I was just doing voiceover notes. I had an old BlackBerry that I would record myself in, just talking, and then I would upload it to my old iMac back in Virginia, my 2-bedroom apartment. I was paying like $800 for rent back in the day. Man, good old days back in like 2015, $800 for rent. But anyway, I digress. I'm getting into nostalgia land. But when I first came on camera after not being on camera, I'm like, okay, I need to have something in the background. I need to have something that I represent that is about me. It's about us. So I went to a flag manufacturer in Virginia, a local place, and I got my flags. I had the Virginia state flag, and then I had the American flag. I've always had that. Then, of course, throughout the years, I got different kind of flags. You know, I got a regular, smaller flag right there on the little cup. Then I have the flags on the wall. I got the Captain America shield. I am Captain America. I love America. This is my country. I'm not going nowhere. You know, some people talking about, oh, they're going to leave and they're going to renounce their American citizenship. And if this person wins the presidency, I'm going to leave. It's like, okay, you can go ahead, but I'm not going anywhere. Most I'm going to do is go to a different city in the States, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm not saying I'm not going to travel. I mean, I could travel to another country. I can go visit. Sure. I can go hang out over here, hang out over there. But at the end of the day, as I close, I'm going to be a U.S. citizen forever. I'm not giving up my blue passport. You got to pry that from my cold, dead, bloody hands. I am not leaving. I'm an American U.S. citizen forever. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on this story? Why do you think that the administration came to Cameron and said, hey, man, take that flag off the back of your truck? Is it because of safety? Is it because of some political stuff? You got a bunch of lefties, because you got to understand you might be kind of in a small town area, a little bit of a country area, but these wokesters will find you wherever you are. You have a higher chance of avoiding them in a smaller rural area, MAGA country. You got a higher chance of avoiding them, but don't think they can't come find you. Oh, yes, they can. They will come find you. So is it that going on out there at East Central High School in Indiana, or is it something else? Do you live in the area? Have you been to the area? Did you go to this school? What is your take on the whole situation and what could be happening? What's the reason behind the request, the initial request, which was rescinded and might come back next year, I suppose? What's behind the initial request to remove the flag from the back of the truck? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I support this young man and his dad and all the classmates, all the schoolmates that came out and had the flags on the back of their truck too. I love it. Look, if I had a sedan, I'd be out there with a little small flags that be on the side of the window. I would do something to stand in solidarity with my classmate, with my schoolmate, because the American flag, I think there's all kind of divisive political things out there, right? You got the LGBT, you got this, you got that. But one thing we all should unite around is the American flag, like post 9/11 days where everybody had the American flag. That's one thing we should be able to unite around. But the way things are nowadays, you got so much woke stuff that is intentionally put out into the world to create division. A thing as unifying as the American flag is now somehow divisive. It's crazy. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.